Maria Santos smiled as she crouched behind her son's car. Today was Carlos's birthday, and she had the perfect surprise planned. She would hide in the back seat and jump out when he got in, just like when he was 7 years old and loved her silly games. The 62-year-old mother carefully opened the back door of the blue Honda. Her heart felt warm and happy. Carlos had been so busy with his new wife Sofia and her parents lately. Maybe this surprise would make him laugh like he used to. Maria slipped into the back seat and pulled a blanket over herself. The car smelled like Sofia's sweet perfume. She heard footsteps coming closer. Her son's voice made her smile. "Did you remember to bring the papers?" Carlos asked someone. "Of course I did," Sofia's cold voice answered. "Everything is ready for tonight." Maria frowned. What papers? What was happening tonight? She stayed very still under the blanket. The car doors opened. Carlos got in the driver's seat. Sofia sat next to him. 2 more doors opened. Sofia's parents, Roberto and Elena, climbed into the back seat. Maria's heart started beating fast. They were sitting right next to her. She tried not to breathe too loud. This wasn't how her surprise was supposed to go. "Are you sure this will work?" Elena whispered. Her voice sounded nervous. "Trust me," Sofia said. "It has to look like an accident. Natural causes. That's the only way we get all her money." Maria felt like ice water filled her chest. Money? What money were they talking about? "My mother has $3 million, Carlos said quietly. "Plus the house, the life insurance, everything. We just need to be patient." $3 million? Maria's hands started shaking under the blanket. How did Carlos know about her savings? She had never told him the exact amount. Patient. Roberto's rough voice made Maria jump. "We've been patient for 2 years. Ever since you married Sofia, that old woman has been nothing but problems." "She doesn't like us," Elena added. "She thinks we're not good enough for her precious son." Maria wanted to scream. That wasn't true. She had tried so hard to welcome Sofia's family. She cooked for them. She gave them money when they needed it. She even let them live in her house for 6 months. "The pills will work perfectly," Sofia said. Her voice was calm and scary. "We put them in her evening tea. She drinks it every night at 9 o'clock. Always the same time." "Pills?" Maria's blood turned cold. "What kind of pills? How long will it take?" Carlos asked. Maria couldn't believe her ears. That was her son's voice. Her baby boy. The child she raised alone. The boy she worked 3 jobs for. He was asking how long it would take for her to die. "The heart attack will look completely natural," Sofia explained. "Old women have heart problems all the time. The doctor will never suspect anything." "And then?" Roberto asked. "Then we inherit everything," Sofia said with a nasty laugh. "The house goes to Carlos. The bank accounts, the life insurance money, all of it. We'll finally be rich." "About time," Elena muttered. "I'm tired of pretending to like that woman. She's always watching us. Always asking questions." Maria felt tears running down her face. She pressed her hand over her mouth to keep from making noise. These people, her son's new family, they wanted to murder her. And Carlos, her own son, he was helping them. "When do we do it?" Carlos asked. "Tonight," Sofia said firmly. "She's making her special birthday dinner for you." "How perfect is that? Her last meal will be the one she cooks for her precious son." They all laughed. The sound made Maria feel sick. "The pills are already crushed up," Sofia continued. "We just sprinkle them in her tea when she's not looking. By 10 o'clock tonight, Maria Santos will be gone forever." The car got quiet. Maria could hear her own heart pounding. She felt like she might throw up. Her son, the boy she had sacrificed everything for, was going to kill her tonight. "Are we sure she doesn't suspect anything?" Elena asked. "She has no idea," Carlos said. "Mom still thinks I'm her perfect little boy. She trusts me completely." "Good," Roberto said. "Because if this goes wrong, we all go to prison." "It won't go wrong," Sofia promised. "By tomorrow morning, we'll be planning Maria's funeral. And by next week, we'll be planning our new lives as millionaires." The car doors started opening. Maria held her breath. They were getting out. She had to stay hidden until they walked away. Remember, Sophia said as they got out. Act normal tonight. Smile. Hug her. Tell her you love her. Make her last hours happy ones. I can do that, Carlos said. But his voice sounded strange.
Sad, maybe?
Or was Maria just hoping? The doors slammed shut. Maria heard their footsteps walking away toward the house. Her house. The house where they planned to murder her in just a few hours. She waited 5 long minutes before moving. Her whole body was shaking. Tears streamed down her face. She felt like her heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. Slowly, quietly, Maria climbed out of the car. She looked at her beautiful house with its yellow flowers and white fence. The home where she had raised Carlos. The place where she had planned to grow old peacefully. Now, it was going to be the place where her own son helped kill her. But Maria Santos was not going to die tonight. Not if she could help it. She wiped her tears and walked toward the house. She had to act normal. She had to smile and hug them and cook dinner. She had to pretend she didn't know that in a few hours they would try to murder her. But inside her mind, Maria was already making a plan. If her family wanted to play deadly games, she would show them how a mother fights back. The game was just beginning. Maria stood in her kitchen, staring at the birthday cake she had spent all morning making. Chocolate with vanilla frosting, Carlos's favorite since he was 5 years old. Her hands were still shaking from what she had heard in the car. How did we get here? She wondered. When did my sweet boy become a killer? She closed her eyes and remembered the day Carlos was born. 28 years ago. She was only 18 then, scared and alone. Carlos's father had run away the moment he heard about the baby. But Maria didn't care. The second she held her tiny son, she knew she would do anything for him. I promise you'll have a better life than me, she had whispered to baby Carlos in the hospital. I'll make sure of it. And she kept that promise. Even when it nearly killed her. Maria walked to her bedroom and opened the bottom drawer of her dresser. Inside was an old shoebox filled with memories. Photos, report cards, and letters from Carlos's teachers. But what she was looking for was at the very bottom. Her wedding ring. The one she sold when Carlos was 7. She held the small gold band and remembered that terrible day. Carlos had come home from school crying because the other kids made fun of his torn shoes. They called him poor boy and said his clothes were ugly. That night, Maria had walked to the pawn shop downtown. The owner gave her $50 for her ring, the only thing she had left from her wedding day. But it was enough to buy Carlos new shoes and a nice shirt for school. Where's your ring, Mama? Carlos had asked the next morning. I lost it, baby, she had lied. But look at your beautiful new shoes. Carlos had smiled so big. He hugged her tight and said, You're the best mama in the world. The best mama in the world, Maria thought bitterly. And now he wants me dead. She put the ring away and pulled out more memories. Report cards showing straight A's. A photo of Carlos in his graduation cap and gown. A letter from the university saying he had been accepted with a full scholarship. That scholarship didn't cover everything, though. Maria had worked 3 jobs to pay for his books, his clothes, his food. She cleaned offices at night. She bagged groceries on weekends. She took care of rich people's children during the day. For 6 years, Maria slept only 4 hours a night. She ate 1 meal a day so Carlos could have 3. She walked everywhere to save bus money for his school supplies. When Carlos graduated from college, he cried at the ceremony. I couldn't have done this without you, Mom, he had said. You gave up everything for me. I'll never forget that. I'll take care of you forever, I promise. Forever, Maria thought. He promised forever. But forever ends tonight at 9 o'clock. She heard voices downstairs. Sophia and her parents had arrived for the birthday dinner. Maria quickly put the shoebox away and checked her face in the mirror. Her eyes were red from crying, but she had to be strong now. Maria. Sophia's voice called up the stairs. We're here. Can we help with dinner? Coming, dear. Maria called back. She took a deep breath and walked downstairs with a fake smile. Sophia was standing in the living room wearing an expensive red dress. Her parents, Roberto and Elena, were sitting on Maria's couch, looking around the room with greedy eyes. "Happy birthday to my wonderful son," Maria said, hugging Carlos tight. She wanted to scream at him. She wanted to ask why. But instead, she just held him and tried to remember when he used to be good. "Thanks, Mom," Carlos said. He hugged her back, but it felt cold. Empty. Not like the warm hugs from when he was little. "Dinner smells amazing," Sophia said with a big fake smile. "You always cook the best food, Maria." Best food, Maria thought. Perfect for hiding poison. "I made all of Carlos's favorites," Maria said. "Chicken with rice, black beans, and sweet plantains. Just like when he was growing up." "When he was poor, you mean?" Elena muttered under her breath. Maria pretended not to hear, but her heart hurt. She had been poor. She worked herself nearly to death to give Carlos a good life. Why was that something to be ashamed of? "Mom used to make this dinner every Friday night," Carlos said. "Even when we could barely afford chicken." "Those days are over now," Roberto said with a nasty smile. "Soon we'll all be eating fancy food every night." Maria felt sick. He was talking about after she was dead. After they stole all her money. "Let me help you set the table," Sophia offered. She followed Maria into the kitchen. This was dangerous. Sophia was alone with her now. Maria's heart pounded as she opened the cabinet to get plates. "You know, Maria," Sophia said quietly, "I've been thinking about our conversation yesterday." "What conversation?" Maria wondered. She couldn't remember talking to Sophia yesterday. "About your will," Sophia continued. "You said you haven't updated it since Carlos got married." Maria's blood turned cold. Sophia was checking to make sure the will was ready, making sure Carlos would inherit everything after the murder. "Oh yes," Maria lied. "I really should take care of that soon." "You should do it this week," Sophia said. Her voice was sweet, but her eyes were hard. "You never know what might happen. Accidents, health problems, anything could occur." Accidents. That's what Sophia had called it in the car. Maria's accident that would happen tonight. "You're absolutely right," Maria said, trying to keep her voice normal. "I'll call the lawyer on Monday." "Perfect," Sophia smiled. "Carlos will be so happy to know everything is taken care of." They carried the plates into the dining room. The whole family sat down together for what Sophia thought would be Maria's last meal. But as they ate and talked and laughed, Maria was remembering everything. Every sacrifice. Every sleepless night. Every time she chose Carlos's needs over her own wants. She remembered selling her jewelry to pay for his school clothes. Working double shifts to buy his first car. Using her life savings to help him start his business. And now, sitting at her own table, eating food she had cooked with her own hands, these people were planning to murder her for money she had earned with her own blood, sweat, and tears. But the worst part wasn't Sophia and her greedy parents. The worst part was Carlos. Her baby boy. The child she had loved more than life itself. As she watched him laugh at Roberto's jokes and hold Sophia's hand, Maria realized something terrible. This wasn't a new plan. Carlos had been different for months. Cold. Distant. Always asking about her money and her health. How long has he been planning this? She wondered. How long has my son wanted me dead? The birthday cake sat in the middle of the table, covered with 28 candles. Just like every year since Carlos was born. But this year, everything was different. This year, instead of making a birthday wish, Carlos was planning a murder. The clock on the wall showed 8:30 p.m. In 30 minutes, they would offer her tea. In 30 minutes, they would try to kill her. But Maria Santos had not survived 18 years as a single mother by giving up when things got hard. She had fought for Carlos his whole life. Now she was going to fight for her own life. And she was going to win. The clock showed 8:45 p.m. 15 minutes until tea time. 15 minutes until they would try to murder her. Maria stood up from the dinner table, her heart pounding like a drum. "I'll make the tea now," she announced with a cheerful smile. "Let me help you, Maria," Sophia said quickly, starting to rise. No, Maria said, maybe too fast. "You're a guest. Sit and relax. I'll be right back." She hurried into the kitchen, her mind racing. She needed help. She needed someone she could trust. Someone who would believe her impossible story. Rosa. Her next-door neighbor, Rosa Martinez. Rosa was 70 years old and had been Maria's friend for 15 years. She used to be a nurse before she retired. More importantly, Rosa was smart, brave, and she had never liked Sofia. Something's wrong with that girl, Rosa had told Maria months ago. Her eyes are too cold. She looks at your house like she's measuring it for curtains. Rosa had been right. Maria quietly opened the back door and slipped into her garden. The kitchen window was open, so she could hear if anyone came looking for her. She ran across the yard to Rosa's house and knocked softly on the back door. Rosa opened it immediately, still wearing her pink bathrobe and curlers. Maria, what's wrong, dear? You look terrible. Rosa, Maria whispered urgently, I need your help. They're trying to kill me. Rosa's eyes went wide. Who's trying to kill you? Carlos. Sofia. Her parents. They're going to poison my tea in 10 minutes. What? Rosa grabbed Maria's arm and pulled her inside. Tell me everything. Fast. Maria quickly explained what she had heard in the car. Rosa's face grew angrier with every word. Those monsters. Rosa hissed. After everything you've done for that boy, we have to call the police. No, Maria said. They'll deny everything. It's my word against 4 of them. And Carlos is so charming. Everyone loves him. They'll think I'm just a crazy old woman. Rosa nodded grimly. You're right. We need proof. Real evidence. I have an idea, Maria said. But it's dangerous. And I need your help. Anything, Rosa said firmly. What do you need? Maria took a deep breath. I need to fake my own death. Rosa stared at her. Are you insane? Listen, Maria said quickly. If I drink the poison, I die for real. If I don't drink it, they'll try again tomorrow, or next week, or next month. But if they think I'm dead, they'll celebrate, Rosa finished. They'll show their true faces. Exactly. And we'll record everything. Get proof of what they really are. Rosa was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then she smiled. You know what? I like it. It's crazy, but I like it. What do you need me to do? You were a nurse for 40 years, Maria said. You know how to fake medical emergencies, right? Of course. Heart attacks, seizures, diabetic comas. I've seen them all. What did you have in mind? Maria explained her plan quickly. Rosa listened carefully, asking smart questions and making the plan even better. We'll need hidden cameras, Rosa said. My grandson Tommy has those tiny spy cameras for his security business. I'll call him right now. While Rosa made the phone call, Maria looked out the window at her house. She could see shadows moving in the dining room. Her family, her killers, were waiting for her to come back with the tea. Tommy's coming over right now, Rosa said. He lives 10 minutes away. He's bringing cameras and microphones. I have to go back, Maria said. They'll get suspicious if I'm gone too long. Be careful, Rosa warned. Don't drink anything they give you. I won't. When Tommy gets here, tell him to hide cameras in my living room and kitchen. I'll leave the back door unlocked. Maria ran back to her house. Her hands were shaking as she put water on the stove to boil. She could hear them laughing in the dining room, laughing while they waited to murder her. Maria? Carlos called. Do you need help with the tea? Almost ready, she called back. Just a few more minutes. She opened her tea cabinet and pulled out her favorite chamomile tea. The tea she drank every night at 9 o'clock. The tea they planned to poison. But tonight, she wouldn't drink a single drop. Maria made the tea in her special blue teapot, the one Carlos had given her for Mother's Day when he was 12. Back when he still loved her. Back when he was still good. Or maybe he was never good, she thought sadly. Maybe I just wanted to believe he was. She carried the teapot and cups into the dining room on her best silver tray. Everyone smiled at her. Big, fake, murderous smiles. Perfect timing. Sofia said sweetly. I was just telling Carlos how much I love our evening tea ritual. Our ritual, Maria thought bitterly. Sophia has been living in my house for 6 months, and now she thinks my traditions are hers. Maria poured tea into 4 cups. Her hand didn't shake at all. She was proud of how calm she looked. Here you go, she said, handing cups to everyone. She kept one for herself and sat down in her favorite chair. To Carlos. Sophia raised her cup. Happy birthday to my wonderful husband. Everyone raised their cups. Maria raised hers too, but she didn't drink. She pretended to sip while watching their faces carefully. Sophia was watching her like a hawk, waiting to see if she would drink the poison. This tea tastes different tonight, Elena said suspiciously. Maria's heart stopped. Had they put the poison in the whole pot? Different how? Roberto asked. Sweeter, Elena said. Like there's extra sugar. I added honey. Maria lied quickly. I thought it would be nice for the birthday celebration. Sophia smiled. How thoughtful. Drink up, Maria. You look tired. The tea will help you relax. Forever, Maria thought. It will help me relax forever. She pretended to take another sip, but her lips stayed closed. The hot cup warmed her hands, but she felt cold inside. They talked and laughed for another 20 minutes. Carlos told stories about college. Sophia complimented Maria's cooking. Roberto and Elena discussed their plans for next week. But Maria knew the truth. They were all acting, putting on a show, waiting for her to die. At 9:30, Maria started to feel genuinely tired. Not from poison, from fear and stress and heartbreak. But she realized this was perfect. I think I need to go to bed, she said with a yawn. I'm exhausted. Of course, Mom, Carlos said. It's been a long day. Thank you for the wonderful dinner. He hugged her goodnight. His hug felt like a goodbye, because in his mind, it was goodbye. Sweet dreams, Sophia said with a cold smile. Final dreams, Maria thought. That's what you mean. Maria went upstairs to her bedroom and closed the door. But she didn't get ready for bed. Instead, she opened her window and looked down at Rosa's backyard. Rosa was there, holding up a small camera and giving her a thumbs up. Tommy had come and gone. The cameras were in place. Now came the hardest part. Maria had to wait. Wait and listen. Wait for them to show their true evil faces. She pressed her ear to the floor. Her bedroom was directly above the living room. She could hear every word they said. How long does it usually take? Elena asked. The pill should work in 30 to 40 minutes, Sophia answered. Her heart will stop, and it will look completely natural. Good, Roberto said. I'm tired of pretending to like that old woman. She wasn't that bad, Carlos said quietly. Maria's heart jumped. Was her son having second thoughts? Are you kidding? Sophia snapped. She's been horrible to us from day one. Always asking questions, always watching us, always making us feel unwelcome. She let us live here for 6 months, Carlos said. Because she wanted to control us. Sophia said angrily. Well, after tonight, she'll never control anyone again. Maria heard Carlos sigh. I wish there had been another way. There was no other way. Sophia said firmly. She would never have given us the money willingly. This is the only way we get what we deserve. What we deserve, Roberto laughed. $3 million. We deserve that and more. Plus the house, Elena added. This house is worth at least $500,000. And the life insurance, Sophia said. Another $1 million. By next month, we'll have more money than we ever dreamed of. Maria felt sick. They were already spending her money. Already planning their rich, new lives. Should we check on her? Carlos asked. Not yet, Sophia said. Give it another 10 minutes. We don't want to seem suspicious. 10 more minutes. Then they would come upstairs and find her dead body. But Maria Santos wasn't going to be dead. She was going to be ready for the performance of her lifetime. Maria heard footsteps on the stairs. It was time. She quickly lay down on her bedroom floor next to the bed. Rosa had taught her exactly what to do. She closed her eyes, let her mouth fall open slightly, and made her body go completely limp. Mom, Carlos's voice called softly. Are you okay? Maria didn't move. She barely breathed. The bedroom door opened. Maria? Sophia's voice was fake and worried. Carlos, she's on the floor. Oh no! Carlos cried out. He sounded genuinely scared.
Mom.
Mom, wake up. Maria felt him kneel beside her. He shook her shoulder gently. She stayed completely still. Call 911. Carlos shouted. Wait, Sophia said quickly. Let me check her pulse first. I took first aid classes, remember? Maria felt Sophia's cold fingers on her wrist. Rosa had taught her to slow her heartbeat by thinking calm thoughts. She pictured peaceful beaches and quiet lakes. There's no pulse, Sophia announced. But Maria could hear the lie in her voice. Sophia could feel her heartbeat perfectly. She just wanted Carlos to think Maria was dead. No pulse. Carlos's voice cracked. Are you sure? I'm sure, Sophia said firmly. Carlos, I'm so sorry. Your mother is gone. Maria heard Carlos start to cry. Real tears. For a moment, her heart almost broke. Her little boy was crying for her. But then she heard footsteps running up the stairs. Roberto and Elena burst into the room. Is it done? Roberto whispered. Sure. Sophia hissed. Yes, it worked perfectly. She's dead. The room got quiet. Then Elena started to laugh. Actually laugh. Finally, Elena said, I thought this day would never come. Elena,
Carlos said sharply.
Show some respect. Respect. Roberto snorted. For what?
She's dead, boy.
The old witch can't hear us anymore. Maria wanted to jump up and scream at them. But she forced herself to stay still. The cameras were recording everything. We need to call 911 now, Carlos said. In a minute, Sophia said. First, let's make sure we have our story straight. What story?
Carlos asked.
We found her on the floor, Sophia explained. She must have had a heart attack while getting ready for bed. We tried to save her, but it was too late. That's not a story, Carlos said. That's what really happened. Maria's heart sank. Carlos actually believed Sophia's lies. He thought Maria had died naturally from a heart attack. Of course that's what happened, Sophia said smoothly. I'm just making sure we all remember the details correctly for the police. The police will ask lots of questions, Roberto said. We need to be ready. What kind of questions? Elena asked. About her health, her money, who benefits from her death, Sophia replied. Normal questions. Nothing to worry about if we stick together. I can't believe she's really gone, Carlos said sadly. Believe it, Sophia said.
Her voice was cold now.
And Carlos? This is going to change our lives forever. I know, Carlos whispered. I just never thought it would happen so soon. Sometimes life surprises us, Roberto said with a nasty chuckle. Maria heard Sophia's phone beeping as she dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? My mother-in-law has collapsed. Sophia cried into the phone. Her voice was perfectly panicked. I think she's had a heart attack. Please send an ambulance. She gave the address and hung up. They'll be here in 10 minutes, she told everyone. Good, Roberto said. That gives us time to look around. Look around for what?
Carlos asked.
Important papers, Elena explained. Bank information, insurance policies, her will. We need to know exactly what we're inheriting. We can't go through her things now, Carlos said. The paramedics will be here soon. Then we'll be fast, Sophia said. Elena, check her dresser. Roberto, look in the closet. I'll check the desk. Maria listened in horror as they started going through her personal belongings. Right next to her dead body. They were looking for her money, before she was even cold. Found something, Elena whispered excitedly. Bank statements. Carlos, your mother had way more money than we thought. How much? Roberto asked greedily. The savings account has $4.2 million. Elena said. 4 million. Carlos sounded shocked. I thought it was only 3. She was hiding money from you, Sophia said.
See?
I told you she didn't trust anyone. And look at this. Roberto said. Life insurance policies worth $2 million. So we're inheriting over $6 million total?
Carlos asked.
Plus this house, Sophia said happily. We're going to be rich, baby. Maria heard them laughing and celebrating. Her own family was having a party next to her supposedly dead body. But the worst part was hearing Carlos laugh with them. Her son, the boy she had sacrificed everything for, was celebrating her death. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Put everything back, Sophia ordered. And remember, we're heartbroken. We just lost a beloved mother and grandmother. Right, Roberto said. Sad faces, everyone. The sirens stopped outside. Heavy footsteps ran up the front walkway. Up here, Sophia called out when the paramedics knocked. Second floor, first bedroom. 3 paramedics rushed into the room with their equipment. Maria recognized one of them. It was Rosa's nephew, Danny Martinez. What happened? Danny asked, kneeling next to Maria. We found her collapsed on the floor, Sophia explained tearfully. We think it was a heart attack. Danny checked Maria's pulse. But he was Rosa's nephew. He knew the plan. His fingers found her wrist, and Maria felt him press gently 3 times. Their secret signal that everything was okay. I'm not getting a pulse, Danny announced loudly. But he winked at Maria so quickly that no one else could see. The other paramedics checked her breathing and heart rate. They were in on the plan too, thanks to Rosa's connections. I'm sorry, the lead paramedic said to Carlos. There's nothing we can do. She's gone. Carlos started crying again. Real tears of grief. Maria's heart broke for him, even though he had helped plan her murder. We'll need to take her to the hospital, Danny said. The doctors will need to examine her and determine the exact cause of death. Of course, Sophia said. We understand. As they lifted Maria onto the stretcher, she heard Sophia whisper to her parents, This is it. We did it. We're finally free. They carried Maria out of the house and into the ambulance. As the doors closed, Danny leaned close to her. Rosa says to tell you the cameras got everything, he whispered. You were amazing, Mrs. Santos. Now, comes the fun part. The ambulance drove to the hospital, but instead of going to the morgue, they took Maria to Rosa's friend, Dr. Patricia Vega. Dr. Vega was another retired nurse who had agreed to help. Welcome back to the living, Dr. Vega said with a smile as Maria sat up on the hospital bed. How long do I have to stay dead? Maria asked. 3 days, Rosa said, walking into the room. That will give us time to watch what they do next. And Maria, you need to see this. Rosa held up her phone. On the screen was live video from the cameras in Maria's house. Carlos, Sophia, Roberto, and Elena were back in the living room. But they weren't crying anymore. They were celebrating. I can't believe it worked so perfectly, Sophia was saying. She never suspected a thing. The pills worked exactly like you said they would, Elena said. What pills? Carlos asked. Sophia froze. What do you mean? You just said the pills worked, Carlos said slowly. What pills? Roberto and Elena looked at Sophia nervously. I meant her heart pills, Sophia stammered. The ones she took for her heart condition. They didn't work to save her. But Carlos was looking suspicious now. Mom didn't take heart pills. She didn't have a heart condition. The room went deadly quiet. Carlos, Sophia said carefully, your mother had lots of health problems you didn't know about. Like what? Carlos demanded. She was old, Carlos, Roberto said. Old people die. That's just life. But Carlos was standing up now, his face angry. You're all acting very strange. Like you're happy my mother is dead. Don't be ridiculous, Sophia said. We're in shock. People react differently to grief. Grief. Carlos laughed bitterly. Is that what we're calling this? Because it looks like a celebration to me. Maria watched her son with hope in her heart. Maybe there was still good in him. Maybe he was finally seeing the truth about his wife. Carlos, sit down, Sophia said firmly. You're being emotional. I'm being emotional? Carlos shouted. My mother just died, and you 3 are acting like you won the lottery. We did win the lottery, Elena muttered. Carlos stared at her. What did you say? Nothing, Elena said quickly. But it was too late. Carlos was putting the pieces together. His face went white. "Oh my God," he whispered. "You killed her. You actually killed her." The room exploded in chaos. Sophia started yelling. Roberto started threatening. Elena started crying. But Maria was smiling for the first time all day. Her son wasn't a killer after all. He was just a fool who had been tricked by killers. And now, Carlos was about to learn the truth about the woman he had married. "You killed my mother?" Carlos screamed at Sophia. His face was red with anger and shock. "Carlos, calm down," Sophia said, but her voice was shaking now. "You're being crazy." "Am I?" Carlos grabbed her shoulders. "Tell me the truth, Sophia. Did you poison my mother's tea?" Sophia's face went white. She looked at Roberto and Elena, but they were backing away from her. I don't know what you're talking about," Sophia stammered. "Don't lie to me," Carlos shouted. He had never yelled at his wife before. "My mother is dead, and you three are acting like it's Christmas morning." That's when Maria decided it was time. She had been watching everything on Rosa's phone from the hospital. Carlos was finally seeing the truth, but he needed to know the whole truth. Rosa drove her back to the house. They parked across the street and called the police on the way. "This is Detective Rivera," a woman's voice answered. "How can I help you?" "This is Maria Santos," Maria said. "I need to report my own murder." There was silence on the phone. "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" "My family tried to murder me tonight," Maria explained quickly. "They think I'm dead, but I'm not. I have video evidence of everything. I need you to come to my house right now." "Ma'am, are you sure you're—" "I'm Maria Santos of 1247 Oak Street. Check your records. Paramedics picked up my dead body 2 hours ago. Except I'm not dead. And I have proof that my son's wife poisoned my tea." Detective Rivera was quiet for a moment. "We'll be right there." 5 police cars surrounded Maria's house within 10 minutes. The officers hid in the bushes and behind trees, waiting for Maria's signal. Maria walked up to her own front door and rang the bell. Inside, the yelling stopped immediately. "Who could that be?" Elena whispered. "Maybe it's the police," Roberto said nervously. "Maybe someone heard us fighting." Sophia looked through the window. When she saw Maria standing on the porch, she screamed. "Ghost!" she shrieked. "It's a ghost." Maria rang the bell again and called out sweetly, "Hello. It's me, Maria. I'm back." The front door flew open. Carlos stood there, his mouth hanging open in shock. "Mom," he whispered. But you were?"
Dead.
Maria smiled. "Not quite, my dear son." Carlos fainted. He just fell right over onto the floor. Sophia, Roberto, and Elena were pressed against the back wall of the living room, staring at Maria like she was a zombie. How is this possible?" Sophia stuttered. "It's very simple," Maria said, walking into her house. "I never drank your poison tea." "Poison tea?" Sophia tried to look confused. "Maria, what are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the pills you crushed up," Maria said calmly. "The ones you put in my tea to give me a heart attack. The ones you discussed in Carlos's car this afternoon when you thought I wasn't listening." Roberto and Elena looked at Sophia with horror. "You said the plan was foolproof," Elena hissed. "You said she would never find out." "Shut up," Sophia snapped. Then she looked back at Maria with fake sweetness. "Maria, I think you're confused. You've been through a trauma." "The only trauma," Maria interrupted, "was discovering that my son's wife is a murderer." That's when Detective Rivera and 3 other officers walked through the front door. "Nobody move," Detective Rivera ordered. "This is the police." Carlos was just waking up from his fainting spell. He looked around in confusion at his supposedly dead mother, the police officers, and his wife's terrified face. "I don't understand," he mumbled. "What's happening?" "Your wife tried to murder me for my money," Maria said gently, "along with her parents. But I found out about their plan and decided to fake my own death to get evidence." Detective Rivera held up Rosa's phone, which was still recording video from the hidden cameras. "We have everything on tape," she announced. The celebration after Mrs. Santos's supposed death, the discussions about inheritance money, and the confession about the poison tea. "Confession?" Sophia said desperately. I never confessed to anything. Actually, you did, Detective Rivera said. When Carlos asked about the pills, you accidentally admitted that you used them to kill his mother. It's all recorded. Sophia's face crumbled. She knew she was caught. It was their idea, she suddenly shouted, pointing at her parents. Roberto and Elena planned everything. I just went along with it. That's not true. Elena screamed. It was Sophia's plan from the beginning. You're all liars, Roberto yelled. I never wanted to hurt anybody. The three of them started fighting and blaming each other. The police officers watched in amazement as the criminals destroyed their own alibis. Carlos sat on the floor, staring at his wife in horror. Sophia, he whispered. You really tried to kill my mother? Sophia looked at him with cold, angry eyes. The sweet mask was gone forever. Your mother was old and rich, she said bitterly. She was going to die, eventually, anyway. We just helped it happen faster. Carlos started crying. Not tears of grief this time, but tears of shame and horror. I helped you, he sobbed. I gave you information about Mom's routine. I told you when she drank tea. I helped my wife plan my mother's murder. Maria knelt down and hugged her son. You didn't know, Carlos. They tricked you. But I should have known. Carlos cried. I should have protected you. You sacrificed everything for me, and I helped them try to kill you. You were manipulated by experts, Maria said softly. Sophia is very good at lying. Detective Rivera handcuffed Sophia, Roberto, and Elena. You're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and fraud, she announced. As they were led away, Sophia turned back to glare at Maria. You think you've won? She hissed. Carlos will never forgive himself. You may have saved your life, but you've destroyed your son. That's where you're wrong, Maria said firmly. My son and I will heal together. But you'll be in prison for a very long time. The police cars drove away, with the three criminals inside. Maria and Carlos were finally alone in the house. Mom, Carlos said quietly, can you ever forgive me? Maria looked at her son. He was 28 years old, but right now he looked like a scared little boy again. There's nothing to forgive, she said. You were a victim too. But I helped them. I gave them information. You gave information to your wife, Maria corrected. You had no idea she was planning murder. You thought you were sharing normal family details. Carlos hugged his mother tight. I love you, Mom. I'm so sorry. I love you too, baby, Maria whispered. We're going to be okay. The next 6 months were hard but healing. Sophia, Roberto, and Elena were all convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Carlos divorced Sophia immediately and went to therapy to deal with his guilt and trauma. Maria sold the big house with its terrible memories. She bought a smaller, cheerful home with a beautiful garden. She used half of her money to start a scholarship fund for children of single mothers, just like Carlos had been. Rosa moved into the house next door to Maria's new home. They became even closer friends, and Rosa loved telling people about the time they faked Maria's death to catch some murderers. Carlos slowly rebuilt his relationship with his mother. He learned to cook her favorite meals. He helped her plant flowers in her new garden. He told her he loved her every single day. I want to make up for the time I wasted believing Sophia's lies, he told her. You don't need to make up for anything, Maria replied. Just be my son. That's all I've ever wanted. 1 year later, Maria started a support group for people who had been betrayed by family members. She helped other mothers, fathers, and children who had discovered that their loved ones were not what they seemed. Family isn't just about blood, she told her support group. Real family is about love, trust, and loyalty. Sometimes the people who share your DNA are strangers. And sometimes strangers become your truest family. Rosa nodded from her seat in the front row. She had become Maria's sister in every way that mattered. Carlos also spoke at the support group sometimes. He talked about how manipulation can make good people do terrible things without realizing it. My wife made me believe that my mother was controlling and selfish, he would say. She twisted my love for my mom into resentment. But the truth always comes out eventually. Maria's new life was quieter, but much happier. She had her real family now: Rosa, Carlos, Dr. Vega, Danny the paramedic, and all the people she helped through her support groups. She never heard from Sofia in prison. But sometimes she got letters from Roberto and Elena, begging for forgiveness and asking for money for their legal appeals. Maria threw those letters away without reading them. The last letter she received was from Carlos on Mother's Day. "Dear Mom, you are the strongest, smartest, bravest woman I know. You worked 3 jobs to give me a good life. You sold your jewelry to buy my school clothes. You sacrificed everything for me, and I almost let someone kill you for it. But you didn't just save your own life that night. You saved mine too. You showed me what real love looks like. Real love protects. Real love fights back. Real love never gives up. I promise to spend the rest of my life being worthy of your love. Your grateful son, Carlos." Maria kept that letter in a frame on her kitchen table. Next to it was a photo of her and Rosa in their matching garden hats, laughing as they planted tomatoes. She had learned something important. The people who truly love you will fight for you when you're in danger. And if your own family won't fight for you, then it's time to find a new family. Maria Santos was 63 years old, very much alive, and surrounded by people who would protect her with their lives. She had never been happier. Like, share, and subscribe if this story gave you chills. What would you have done in Maria's situation? Tell us in the comments below. Double tap if you think Maria is the smartest mother ever.